You've probably seen this tiny red fruit everywhere. It's been hailed as a modern superfood, but its story? Well, that actually goes back thousands of years. So today, we're going to dive in and figure out what's real and what's just hype about the famous goji berry.
Right? You see them in health food stores, tossed into juice blends, popping up in trail mixes. They have this massive reputation. But is it all just marketing? Or is there some real science behind the superfood label? That's exactly what we're going to unpack. Okay, so first things first. What is a goji berry? Well, you might also hear it called a wolfberry. It's the fruit of a plant called Lycium barbarum, which is native to Asia. And they've been used in traditional medicine for centuries. We're talking thousands of years, with claims about everything from slowing down aging to protecting your eyesight.
So that's the tradition. But what about the science? What happens when we actually look under the hood? This is where it gets really, really interesting. Let's break down what's actually packed inside these little red berries.
All right, to make this super clear, let's talk about a specific amount. We're looking at just 28 grams of dried goji berries. That's about 5 tablespoons. It really doesn't look like much, but trust me, what's hiding inside might just surprise you.
Whoa, just look at that number. 250%. That's how much of your daily recommended vitamin A is in that small handful of berries. That's a huge amount of a vitamin that's absolutely crucial for your immune system and your vision.
And it's not just a one-trick pony. In that same serving, you're also getting 11% of the iron you need for the day. You know, iron is what helps carry oxygen through your blood, keeps your energy up. This is a perfect example of what people mean when they say a food is nutrient-dense. Okay, let's zoom out and look at the whole picture here. For that same 28-gram serving, you're looking at about 98 calories. You get a solid 4 grams of protein and almost 4 grams of fiber, which is great. You're also getting 15% of your daily vitamin C. Now you can see the sugar content is there for sure, but it's all packaged up with these other amazing nutrients. Okay, so we've established they're a nutritional powerhouse. They're packed with good stuff. But so what? How does all that translate into actual health benefits for you? Let's dig into the science behind the claims. So, to really get this, we have to talk about something called antioxidants. It sounds complex, but it's pretty simple. Think of it like this. Your body has these little troublemakers called free radicals. They bounce around and can damage your cells. Well, antioxidants, which goji berries are loaded with, are like the superheroes that come in and neutralize those free radicals, protecting your cells from harm. So, what's the payoff of all that antioxidant power? Well, research is pointing to a couple of really key areas. First up, they might help promote eye health, and that's thanks to a specific antioxidant called zeaxanthin. And second, they could help support your immune system, which makes sense, right? Given that massive dose of vitamin A and the kick of vitamin C we just talked about. And listen, this isn't just some vague idea. This is backed by some real research. Take a look at this quote from a study. They looked at 114 people who had early macular degeneration. What they found was that a daily goji berry supplement actually improved the density of their macular pigment. That's a key part of protecting your eyes. That's pretty specific and really promising. All right, but as with pretty much anything that's this potent, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. We absolutely have to talk about the other side of the coin. There are some really important words of caution here that you need to know before you start eating them.
So before you run out and start throwing them into every meal, let's just take a beat. This next part is crucial.
Okay, so here are the potential downsides. First, while it's not super common, some people can have allergic reactions. But what's really important to know is that they can interact with certain types of drugs. We're talking about blood thinners and also medications for things like diabetes or high blood pressure. This is serious stuff. So let me just be super clear here. If you are taking medication for diabetes or blood pressure, or you're on a blood thinner, or really any ongoing medication, you have to talk to your doctor or a healthcare professional first. Seriously, it's not worth the risk. Okay. So now that we have those really important cautions out of the way, let's shift gears and end on a more practical note. Let's say you talk to your doctor, they're a good fit for you. How do you actually use them?
Well, you've basically got 3 main options. The most common way is just using them dried. Think of them like raisins. You can just toss them into cereal or trail mix, or you can rehydrate them. Just soak them in a little water for a few minutes and they get all soft and plump, which is perfect for things like smoothies. And finally, you can buy it as a powder, which makes it super easy to mix into drinks and shakes.
And you can get really creative with it. Just look at these ideas.
Sprinkle them on your morning cereal or yogurt. Mix them into a homemade trail mix. You can even bake with them, like in muffins or cookies. Or, if you're feeling adventurous, blend them into smoothies or even savory things like soups and stir-fries for a little sweet and sour kick.
So what's the final verdict here? Well, goji berries are, without a doubt, a vibrant, super nutrient-dense fruit. The science points to some really promising benefits, especially for things like eye health. But the key takeaway is that you have to be mindful. You have to approach them knowing about the potential downsides and interactions.
And that kind of leaves us with a bigger question to chew on, doesn't it? If this one tiny little berry can pack this much nutritional history, this much power, it makes you wonder, right? What other traditional foods, ones that maybe we've forgotten about, might be worth taking a second look at? Something to think about.